Don't touch the purple fluid. Those were the first words Dr. Ethan Cole heard when he arrived at Blackthorn Cryogenic Research Facility beneath the Nevada desert. No greeting. No orientation. Just a warning. The elevator descended nearly 200 feet underground while cold white lights flickered overhead. Ethan tightened his lab coat as frost crept along the steel walls. Level A17. The doors opened with a metallic hiss. The hallway beyond looked less like a laboratory and more like a bunker built for the end of the world. Red emergency strips glowed along the floor. Pipes rattled overhead. Somewhere deep inside the facility, an alarm beeped every 7 seconds. Nobody spoke. Scientists walked quickly with their heads down. Then Ethan saw it. A massive circular vault door marked Cryo Chamber A17. Authorized personnel only. And underneath it, painted in fading yellow letters, do not touch the purple fluid. Inside the chamber, the temperature dropped instantly. Ethan's breath became visible. Rows of frozen containment pods lined the walls, each filled with thick blue coolant. But at the center of the room stood a single black cryogenic tank nearly 15 feet tall. Inside floated a glowing purple liquid. It pulsed slowly. Like a heartbeat. Dr. Lena Meyerek, the senior biochemist, stepped beside Ethan without warning. Don't stare at it too long, she whispered. Why? She hesitated. Because sometimes, it stares back. Before Ethan could respond, the overhead speakers crackled. Containment status stable. But the lights briefly dimmed the moment the announcement ended. And inside the tank, the purple fluid moved. At first Ethan thought it was vibration from the machinery. Then he realized the fluid was moving against gravity. Thin tendrils formed beneath the glass, twisting upward like smoke underwater. A nearby technician suddenly dropped his tablet. His nose was bleeding. You okay? Ethan asked. The man stared directly at the tank. She spoke to me, he whispered. Then he collapsed. Within seconds, security teams rushed into the chamber and dragged the unconscious technician away. Nobody explained anything. Lena grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. You need to stop asking questions. But Ethan had already noticed something worse. The purple liquid had pressed itself against the inside of the glass. Directly where he had been standing. Later that night, Ethan accessed the facility archive. Most records regarding Chamber A17 had been erased. Deleted. Classified. But one corrupted video remained. The footage showed 6 scientists inside the chamber 3 years earlier. One of them touched the glass. Immediately the purple fluid surged violently. The cameras distorted. Then the recording cut to black. Ethan skipped forward. The final frame showed the chamber empty. All 6 scientists had vanished. A cold chill crawled down his spine. Then a message appeared on his monitor. Stop searching. The screen shut off by itself. And somewhere far below the facility, something heavy slammed against metal walls. The next morning, Lena finally told him the truth. The substance inside Chamber A17 wasn't created on Earth. It had been recovered from a crashed object buried beneath Arctic ice in 1987. The government called it Project Veil. They thought it could preserve human cells forever, Lena said quietly. Cryogenic immortality. But something went wrong. Lena looked toward the chamber cameras. It learns. Ethan frowned. What does that mean? It absorbs memory. Emotion. Fear. The light suddenly flickered again. Then every monitor in the lab displayed the same sentence. "Let me out." Panic spread instantly. Scientists rushed between control stations while alarms echoed through the underground corridors. Then the impossible happened. A young researcher named Miles stumbled backward into the chamber. His glove brushed the purple fluid leaking from a tiny crack beneath the tank. Everyone froze. Miles slowly looked down at his hand. Purple veins spread beneath his skin. "Oh God," Lena whispered. Miles began shaking violently. Then he smiled. Not normally. Too wide. His eyes turned dark violet. And in a voice that didn't sound human, he said, "It remembers all of you." The entire facility sealed automatically. Massive steel doors slammed shut. Emergency sirens howled across every level. Containment breach detected. Red lights flooded the corridors. Miles attacked two security guards before vanishing deeper into the cryogenic sector. Security feeds began failing one by one. On several cameras, strange shapes moved through the darkness behind the staff. Not human. Ethan and Lena ran toward central control while frost spread unnaturally fast across the walls. The temperature was dropping. -10. -20. -30 degrees. And Chamber A17 was beginning to crack. Inside central control, Director Halvorsen finally revealed the truth. The fluid wasn't just alive. It was a colony organism. Ancient. Intelligent. Adaptive. Every person exposed to it became connected to a shared consciousness. The Arctic team didn't die, Halvorsen admitted. They became part of it. Ethan stared at the security screens in horror. Dozens of frozen containment pods were opening by themselves. From inside them, figures slowly stepped out. Former test subjects. Their eyes glowing purple. One of them looked directly into a camera and whispered, "We were never asleep." Halvorsen suddenly pulled a handgun from his desk. "You two are staying here." Lena stepped back. "What?" "The military is preparing sterilization." Ethan's stomach dropped. "You're destroying the facility." Halvorsen nodded coldly. "No witnesses. No infection leaves the site." Before they could react, Halvorsen locked them inside central control and escaped through a private elevator. Outside the reinforced glass walls, infected researchers shuffled through the frozen hallway. Slowly. Watching them. Then the power failed completely. Darkness swallowed the room. And something scratched the glass from outside. Backup generators activated moments later. Dim red emergency lights flickered overhead. Ethan forced open a maintenance hatch leading into the lower cryogenic tunnels. The air burned with freezing cold. Ice covered the floor like glass. As they moved deeper underground, Ethan noticed dozens of cryo chambers standing open. Empty. Then he heard breathing nearby. A little girl stepped from the shadows wearing an old research uniform. Purple light glowed beneath her skin. "You shouldn't be here," she said softly. Lena froze in terror. "That's impossible." The girl smiled. "I died in 1998. Then every chamber door around them slowly began opening. Ethan and Lena finally reached the reactor core beneath Chamber A17. There they discovered the final classified files. The organism had arrived inside a meteor fragment decades ago. But it wasn't invading humanity. It was searching for a host species after its own civilization collapsed. Project Veil scientists had misunderstood its behavior. Every violent outbreak happened only after humans experimented on it. Tortured it? Weaponized it? Ethan stared at the glowing reactor. We caused this. Lena nodded slowly. But before they could shut the system down, Miles appeared behind them. His entire body now pulsed with purple light. You fear evolution, he whispered. Then the reactor alarms activated. Core overload in 5 minutes. The facility erupted into chaos. Steam exploded from broken pipes. Ice shattered across the tunnels. Ethan and Lena sprinted toward the emergency elevator as the reactor countdown echoed behind them. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. They reached the surface just as a massive shockwave tore through the desert. The underground facility collapsed into fire and frozen debris. Silence followed. For a moment, Ethan thought it was over. Then Lena grabbed his arm. Ethan. He looked down. Tiny purple veins were spreading beneath his fingertips. The exposure had already begun. Far below the burning ruins of Facility A17, something still moved beneath the ice. Waiting.